Good morning. Greetings and salutations, everyone. Give y'all a chance to come in here. We are going to talk about quails. Talking about quails. As I have 5 of them down here keeping me company. We're not going to talk about chickens. My chickens are getting, well, not all of them. One of them is getting on my nerves. And what's really funny is one of my real early videos when we first got him. I was just singing his praises, how sweet he was and everything. And then he turned into a mean little sucker. He is mean. So he got to go in the frying pan to someone else's house. I don't care. Either one. I'm for all of it. So y'all come on in the room. Come on in the room. Y'all keep it clean, be nice. But come on in, come on in. I hope everybody is well today. Hit that like button as you come in. So what I wanted to talk about today is the quails and that quail journey, y'all, because at the first time I hatched out the quail, I really felt like I failed. Like I had really done some things wrong, and I made some mistakes because it was my first time, and it's a learning process. Um, it extended beyond the things that you learn on YouTube, because a lot of times when you learn things, be it on YouTube, in someone's class, welcome in someone's classroom or whatever, you're learning their spin on it, their experience, what they have learned. So that doesn't necessarily make their way the only way. And I have learned with quail that a lot of stuff that I've seen on YouTube was right. The things I've learned, they were right, but right with a spin. Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. Kind of right with a spin. So we're going to talk about it today, so that if you're on a quail journey and you want to raise quail, um, I'm raising quail, but I am new at raising quail. However, I have done 2 incubations, and for me, it was a little bit different than what I learned. So welcome in, y'all. Welcome in. So we're going to talk about that. With my first group, I bought 30 eggs from My Shire Farms, and they're a wonderful company that supplies quail eggs, and these were Katrynix, and I received them very nicely packaged and everything. So I wasn't upset about anything at that point. Um, so we let them sit for the 24 hours like they were supposed to, so those air sacs could, you let them sit for 24 hours if you receive them in the mail, so the air sacs can reattach themselves on top. Because that kind of happens when they're in motion, they're traveling. They will detach, but they will reattach. So let me know you're in the chat if you're here. Go ahead and say hello. Um, so I got those 30 eggs, and then they sent me 2 extra eggs. Hello, Ruben. Welcome in. Welcome in. They sent me 2 extra eggs. So I put them in the incubator 24 hours later. Had that temperature set at 99. Now, this incubator doesn't do the half marks. So it would fluctuate between 99 and 100. but it would only show me 99 or 100. Wouldn't show me 99.5, 99.3. All right, so they always advise you to get a hydrometer to help with your temperatures, which I did that. I had a hydrometer in there to tell me what the temperature was on the inside of the incubator, as well as the humidity. All right, and humidity is important. Now, this first group that I hatched out, it was still chilly here on the homestead. So, of course, their temperature would fluctuate a little bit lower, and then I'd have to set it up a little bit higher. But I had to learn how to navigate the temperature on the outside of the incubator with the temperature on the inside of the incubator, because they never, ever, ever said the same thing. Never said the same thing. Hello, Lawson. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hello, Harper Joe. Welcome in. I'm glad you all took the time to stop by and say hi. So with those particular that egg group, um, we had some faux pas with the incubator because, one, we didn't put the incubator together correctly. And it didn't come with any instructions, y'all. We had to figure this thing out. And I went through every video on YouTube that I could find that showed anything about my incubator, and I only found two. One of them was a lady who said, this incubator sucks. It doesn't come with directions and all that, so I'm going to show you how to put it together. And even with hers, we didn't realize that we had the egg turners on backwards. I just kept trying to figure out, why are these eggs not turning? The bees are out, y'all. So we figured that out anyway, but it was after these quail were done with the incubation and the egg turning and all of that. So I had put them on lockdown. Well, we had the first initial the first initial four were hatched out within 24 hours of lockdown, and they were doing great. The fifth one came out, and he was little runt, so I let him stay in the incubator, and the other ones I had already put in the brooder because they were nice and fluffy, and they were all over the place, and they were playing kick with the other eggs. So I said, let me get these out of here. I put them in the brooder. All right, and the brooder is just where you're going to grow them up at for about 3 to 4 weeks, and then after that you want to get them into a regular habitat. So I put them in the brooder. Then the fifth one hatched out, and he was just a chirping. Once he got his feathers warm and everything, he would come to the edge of the incubator and just chirp, 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 chirp. And I thought it would be good for the other eggs to help them hatch as well, because that's what they say on YouTube. But I found that I just put a video on of quail sounds, and that works too. So when it was time for him to come out, I put him in there. Well, then the sixth one hatched, and he wasn't moving. He was breathing. He just wouldn't move. And every time I'd come in there to check to see if there were any more that hatched, he was just laying there, breathing. And then I saw where he was trying to move, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong. So I had to open up the incubator to help him. And what happened was I didn't have the smaller flooring in there, because I honestly did not know that those were going to be that small. All right, so this is just a tip, and this is one they give you on lots of videos on YouTube. It was just one that I missed. I didn't catch that one till after the fact. And his leg had slipped through one of the holes in the bottom of the mat that comes with your incubator. Well, those mats the holes in them are too big. You're gonna need smaller ones. And that's for any incubator. Just get you the kitchen liner and use that, because that works wonderfully. But anyway, his leg was caught in the fan, and I didn't realize that at first. So I was trying to help him get out, and I was trying to lift him. And this wasn't the sixth egg. This was the fifth egg. I'm sorry. Anyway, um, by the time I got him loose from the fan, his leg was still intact, but it was just, I mean, he was just bleeding everywhere, and he just died right in my hand. So I had to move on. We'll just say that. Um, and the sixth one, which is what I thought that was the fifth one. The sixth one had pipped his egg probably on day 2 of lockdown. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. And I love this background too. This is my patio garden. I love sitting up here and just chilling. That's what I'm doing, y'all. Just chilling. And I thought I would do my first live on my Homestead channel. And anyone that knows me, you know I have a crafting channel as well. And that crafting channel, that one is monetized. There's lots of members on there. I actually have a members group on there. But this is the channel that I'm kind of focused on right now, because homesteading is what we're doing more of than anything. But we're going to get back into the crafts too. But thank you. I love this patio garden. But anyway, the sixth one, he had shell probably on day 2 of lockdown. Well, by day 4 of lockdown, he was still alive, but he had not made any progress on the shell whatsoever. None. And I thought, Lord, I'm going to have to birth me a quail. I was not looking forward to that, because that, it's the first time for anything can be a little bit scary. And I didn't want to hurt him. So I gathered my supplies, which was some warm water, Q-tips, and I sterilized a real tiny pair of garden scissors that I had. And I mean, they're like as big, just like that, real tiny, and you just squeeze them to cut. All right, so I went to work on him. I wet the shell up with the warm water, and I didn't want to put it too close to his mouth or anything, but I was able to cut some of the shell off from around him, and once I got the shell off enough, he was able to kick it open. Now, this was a strong bird because, I think because he pipped through the shell at the right place and was able to breathe is why he lasted that long inside the egg. And I mean, you could see his beak and everything just there. And he was chirping, he was chirping out of that little hole. So once he came out, I stuck him back in the incubator and closed it up. And so he was my runt. He was the small one. And he was the last one out of the incubator. So once he was fluffed up, I felt like enough. He was still just a little damp, but not too bad. And the brooder temperature was already up at 99.5 degrees. So I went ahead and put him in the brooder too. Now, they did pick at him at first a little bit, but then he just started getting up and moving around, and he was kind of motivated, I guess, to move. So that's how I ended up with 5. None of the other eggs hatched. I left them in there for about 4 more days, and none of them hatched. They nothing hatched. And when I candled them, it looked like most of them weren't even fertile. And that's just a chance you take, y'all, when you buy eggs from a hatchery. They try to guarantee that they can send you out fertile eggs, but they can't guarantee that, because you can't even candle them until you've incubated them for about 7 days. Then you can candle them and see, and get rid of the eggs that are not fertile. And those are the ones that the light shines all the way through. There's nothing going on in that egg. But if you take the candling class, you'll learn all of that with the candling. So I ended up with 5 white jumbo Katryna quails, or jumbo whites. All right, and they're right here. I don't know if you want to let me grab them or not. They are actually in their new habitat, and they are laying eggs now. I have two of them that are roosters, and I did band their feet with blue little leg collar so that I would know which two were the roosters. Otherwise, you have to vent sex them at this point to see who the boys are and who the girls are. Well, when mine started crowing, I immediately banded his foot, because I knew that was a rooster. And then another one started crowing, and I banned his foot. None of the rest of them have crowed, and two of them I know are laying eggs. There's only three females, but I'm 100% sure that all three of those are females, and that there's only two roosters in this group of five. So we're going to remove one of the roosters. Lost the Holiday says, I hope you become famous. I don't want to be famous, sweetheart. I just want to be loved as I give love, and I love people. Um, and that's just me. I want to be comfortable. I don't want to be famous, and I don't need money or none of that to be comfortable. I just need my garden. I got to have my garden now. My animals and my family. And all you beautiful people out there in YouTube world, because I love all of y'all. It's really fun to meet people. It's really an experience. It's educational. Um, I'm from Hawaii originally, for those of you that don't know that much about me. And a lot of you do, because I do have, like I said, a larger group in my other um, channel. But I'm originally from Hawaii. My dad was in the Air Force, and I grew up in Hawaii. I left Hawaii when I was 22 years old. Um, nope, 24. With an 18-month-old, I moved to South Carolina, had no family there or nothing, and have been pretty much building on my own since then. Statistically, my kids were supposed to be, I had three daughters, that they were supposed to be, I don't know, what do they say in statistics? Single moms, kids usually have all kinds of issues and problems. Well, issues and problems weren't allowed with my kids, because I told them very quickly, just because your dad is not doing whatever doesn't give you a license to act a fool. And that we're not doing that. So I have three beautiful daughters. My oldest daughter is 37, and she has a business degree. My middle daughter is 33. Well, my oldest daughter has to finish up her degree, but she has her credits towards it. My middle daughter is 33, and she has an MBA, and she is actually in a doctoral program, and will have her doctoral here real soon. And my youngest baby is 19. She is graduating Saturday from high school. Now, I know what y'all thinking. 19? Yes, I kept her back 1 year in elementary school. That was my choice, because in elementary school, you can opt to push your kid forward or hold them back. Um, and you would be surprised how many parents say, well, no, I don't want to hold them back. It might hurt. That's just going to upset them. It might scar them, and da 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 da. Well, I don't know. I think in the long run, they're going to be more scarred by not being able to keep up and being the one in the class that's always behind. And y'all know how that goes. Kids are not kind to kids sometimes. They don't mean to be mean, but sometimes it just happens like that. Thank you. I try to be kind to everybody I meet, because you never know who you're going to need in this world. You never know who God sent to test you. So keep that in mind. God will send people to test you to find out what kind of spirit you have. Um, but anyway, I kept her back because she was at the bottom of her class, and I want to say it was third grade or fourth grade. I don't remember which grade it was, but she was at the bottom of her class. So I kept her behind a year to make sure she was able to understand and get what she needed. She also had speech impediment, so she had to go to speech, and all of that. So I wanted to make sure she was comprehending, understanding, and able, not so much to speak correctly, but to know how to correct it. And that was more important to me than her saying it correctly, because we all start talking, and a lot of times things don't come out correctly. They just come out. So, but as long as we know, well, I know I didn't say that right, but I know how to correct that here. This is how I should have said it. That kind of thing. That was more important. And I noticed that her teachers were not grading her on that. So that was where I sounded alarms at. Like, no, this is what I need. You all keep marking it right because you see that she gets the concept, but you're not making her correct how she's saying it. I said, I want to know that she knows how to correct it. Because that's going to be important in college. It's going to be important that she says it the correct way too, but it's more important that she knows how to correct what she said wrong. Um, so anyway, that was why she is 19, graduating now, because I held her a year. It's my fault. I'm the bad mommy. But that's okay, because guess what? My baby's graduating on the honor roll. She's been honor roll her entire high school journey, actually from 6th grade up until 12th grade. She has been honor roll. Um, she has gotten a scholarship, and she has already been accepted to a college. So the college actually reached out to her for sports, but she was actually able to get an academic scholarship. So she will be playing soccer as well at the college, but she did not get a sports scholarship. She got an academic scholarship. And then I have a grandson who is also graduating, and he's going to be going to college, university up in Atlanta, Georgia Southern University, I do believe is where he's going. We will find out tomorrow because his graduation is tomorrow. And he also got a scholarship. So, and he got an academic scholarship too. And all the football scouts were after him. They were he actually trained with the Falcons last summer. And so the scouts have been after him for athletic scholarships, but he accepted an academic scholarship, because he felt like he could play ball and still do good, but he wants to be an engineer, and I'm proud of him because we let him know very quickly, do not take an athletic scholarship because you want fame and money for your family. You owe us nothing. You owe us absolutely nothing. It has been our privilege and honor to have you as part of this family that God gave you to us to raise, and we know that you'll make good choices in life. So you choose for you, not for us. I know you've seen struggles over the years and all of that. Well, guess what? That's all part of life. And the same skills, know-how, and opportunities that he's giving you, he gave us too. So you worry about what you want to do, what you want to be, and what you feel is best for you. And he decided on engineering, so we're proud of him. Um, and my daughter, I think she wants to be a teacher. I'm not quite sure just yet because she kind of flip-flops a little bit. So we'll see what it is that she wants to do. But that's where I am with my kids. They're not statistics. Um, I have been on them. And my other grandson, he's still in middle school, so he's about to become the brat. He's actually getting ready to start playing football. But we call him the brat now because there's no other kids. He's the only one left, and he is 13. But they're beautiful boys. They are very polite, very helpful. My oldest grandson will be down here next week to help me with the homestead. He said we need to get in that garden, and he's going to put Xavier up so I can clean that chicken coop out. Because I don't go in there. I used to, because I have 7 chickens. And one of them is a rooster. I only have one rooster. Well, when I first got them, they were great. I didn't have a problem. I'd go in there. Every now and then Xavier would kind of charge at you, but if I shoot him back, he would go on back. Well, Xavier has gotten to where he charges at me and keeps coming. Why? I don't know, because I'm the one that goes down there with the food, the water, and all of that. So now I have to take somebody with me when I go down there, or that's how I was doing it, and because I'd take a stick and I'd have to shoo him back with the stick now, because my hand no longer worked. Well, the stick doesn't work anymore either. I can shoo him with a stick and he will still charge at me. So my son-in-law, he's from the country. He said it. He said, "Nah, it's probably best that you and don't go in there, and we don't send any little kids in there." And he will not charge at anybody else. I do not know why he charges at me, but he does. And so I don't go in there. We have a pen within a pen. So my grandson's gonna put him in the inside pen so that I can go in there and clean up. The smaller hens they don't charge at me or anything, and if they do, they're small, and I just wave at them and they just go back the other way. But I don't know, you know. That's why I said Xavier is very close to being a four-piece because of the charging and what he's doing now. He charged at my son-in-law one time, and my son-in-law let him know very quickly that he was not going to be charging at him. So he doesn't do it anymore. But I'm not fixing to fight with a rooster. I'm not doing that. So anyway, let's get back to topic here, y'all. Let's talk about these quails. Yes, it is great for them. They're doing beautifully, and I'm just very, very proud of them. Um, so with the um, quails, with My Shire Farms, they give you a 50% guarantee hatch rate. So I emailed them and called them, and I told them everything that I did, and that maybe some of the non-development or non-hatching may have been my fault because the eggs weren't turning, because the turner wasn't working. And even despite that, they still replaced my eggs with 32 more eggs. So that's how I got the second hatching of the quails. All right, now the second ones, they hatched out. They're probably just at a week old right now, and they've already gotten really big, y'all. But those are not jumbos. Those are just regular Katryna quails. And 14 of them hatched. So I have 14 babies in the house and 5 big jumbos out here. The babies in the house are still in the brooder. They've been in the brooder for about a week. Now, this is one of the things that I've learned with Katryna or with quails, period. Don't go by everything you see on the television. All right. This second group, we had done fixed the turner, and I thought I lost this whole batch, and I'll tell you why. We fixed the turner, and so the eggs were turning and everything, and the temperature stayed great, the humidity stayed great. Now keep in mind, it's much warmer now, so the temperature was very easy to control because it had already gotten really, really hot here after this group. So it was easier for me to control the temperature, not so much the humidity, because the humidity kept dropping very, very low. All right, so the incubator, I don't know what happened, but it would not allow us to adjust the temperature on the incubator. If you press the button and nothing would happen, and I'm like, okay, I can't get the temp up in this. All right, so the temperature inside the incubator dropped down to about 86 degrees and stayed at 86 for about 6 hours because we could not get it to go up, go down, do anything. And I'm on Google going, well, what do I do? Do I do this? Do I do that? And all of that. So what I ended up doing was um, resetting the entire incubator. So it started it back to day one of the eggs, and we were actually on day four by then. Um, and Google was saying that, well, it's early still, so if you can get the temperature back up, there may be a chance to save some of the eggs. Y'all just don't know. I sat on my bed and cried because I thought, okay, I'm fixing to lose all my quails again. Um, so I got the temperature back up, and there was no other problem with this incubation. The temperature stayed 99 to 100 the entire time. I kept that humidity um, 45 to 55 the entire time. And when it came time for lockdown, I put the water in, more water in there, warm water in there, and I jacked that humidity up to 65 to 75. And that's where I kept it at. And on the first day, only one hatched. So I thought, okay, well, we got one, then maybe we got more. And then by that evening, when I came home from work, there were about six of them that had hatched, running around the incubator. And we got up to nine, and those nine were nice and fluffy and playing kickball with the eggs. So I had to take them out and put them in the brooder. They were ready for the brooder. I put them in the brooder, so I had nine. Um, and then between the second and third day of lockdown, we had six more. No, five more. So I ended up with 14 of those babies. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. We ended up with 14 of those babies, and that's all that hatched. Nothing else hatched or pipped out of that incubator. So I did take one of the eggs and did an egg topsy. I opened it up, and it was just yolk. It wasn't even fertilized, or it wasn't a fertile egg because it was just yolk. There was nothing in it. Looked like a regular egg that you could just fry and eat. Um, and I didn't candle the rest of them or look at the rest of them. I just cracked that one because I was like, okay, this one looks like ain't nothing in it. So I cracked it to see. And then the rest of them at day, I think about day 23 or 24 in the incubator, I tossed the rest of them. So we ended up with 14 out of that batch. And I did not call the company back because I don't want a replacement, because I didn't get a 50% hatch rate. I am very happy with the hatch rate that I got because one thing I have learned is do not bite off more than you can chew. But what I have learned is they say you put them in the brooder at 99 to 100 degrees like the incubator, and my quail did not like that. I had to play with that temperature a little bit. So that 99.5 degrees, the very first day I had to knock it down to about 90 to 92, and they were happy with that. Now, one thing I did notice with this second group of quails, when they hatched, um, they were not that wet. So either they absorbed their egg, the inners in the eggshells, very well, or it was not humid enough. And I'm thinking that maybe the humidity should have been more 75 to 80. But they did very well as far as being able to hatch themselves out. And this particular group, y'all, they were so good at hatching that we couldn't even tell which eggs were hatching. Because I would look in there and be like, okay, what's turning? What's hatching in here? I don't see nothing pipped. I don't see, and then all of a sudden a quail would pop up, pop his little head up. And I was like, well, something's that. They hatching something out of there because they're coming out. So it was wonderful to get the 14 because that gave us a total of 19 quails. And we don't want to bite off more than we can chew because we're just starting out with quails. This is new for us. So but I have these five beautiful white Katryna quails down here. One male that I'm going to have to uh, probably call to and move on. You know, my what I want to do is put him in another cage and these two males out, so I can keep the five jumbos and laying eggs and everything. Because if I do sell fertile eggs, it's going to be from the jumbo group, and this is a small covey. It's not a big covey at all. So right now we're just doing eggs with these quails, and we're doing everything for our homestead, and so that we can be self-sufficient and self-sustaining. We also have chickens and eggs, so we do collect. I have not bought eggs, I know, in probably 3 or 4 months. There's a young lady that I work with that also has chickens, and she has a lot of chickens. I mean, like a lot. um, and she brings 5, 6, 7, 8 dozens of eggs to work and gives them away. So when she does that, I do get 1 carton of hers, because I only have 2 chickens laying eggs right now. But it keeps me from having to go to the store. And all she asks you to do is bring the carton back so she can continue doing that. Excuse me. So I bring the carton back for her so she can still do it. S. Marie is in the building. Hello, darling. Grand Rising, Katrina and Chad. Good to see you. So I do bring her carton back so that she can put the eggs in there. Um, so a lot of people have asked what we do here on our homestead, and we're raising quail, we're raising chickens. My son-in-law said that he is going to be starting on rabbits, which is awesome. I'm more than happy to let him do that. Your girl's not doing rabbits. I'm doing quails and chickens. I might do a couple of goats, but that's going to be after we buy the land. We are looking at land that's 10 to 20 acres is what we are looking for, and we have found a couple of places. Miss you, congrats on your homestead journey. Thank you. It's good to see you. I miss you all too. I'm still selling baskets, Carol. I just ain't been doing no videos on them. I am actually changing up how I do my baskets, because down here in my neck of the woods, the uh, farming baskets are going way faster than my gift baskets. And we tested that theory out here on Mother's Day. We had the Mother's Day baskets as well as farming baskets. Every single one of my farm baskets with the jellies and everything in them sold. And I ended up bringing back about 15 of my Mother's Day baskets. Now I only made about 60 Mother's Day baskets, but I ended up bringing back about 15 of those. So that's what we're doing, is just trying to mix the two. And a lot of my baskets now are to order. So if it's a birthday or something, a special occasion, and I'm doing it that way because that cuts down on inventory. And when we do the customs, then we know what they want, what they like, and what we need to buy. So that's why I started doing it that way. And so I really haven't had baskets to show on my other channel. So, but I'm still doing them. I'm gonna show some of the um, farming baskets as well, because those are really nice, and like I said, they sell a lot faster. Pickled eggs, pickles, jams, jellies. These are the things that I put in those baskets. Fresh fruits, and they sell pretty well, very well actually. Um, and that's where he says, I want to see great niche, in my opinion. Thank you. It took me a while to figure one out, but I just didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. And that was kind of how I was feeling, like, we're all doing this, and everyone does a fantastic job, a great job, but what is it my area needs? And everybody was leaning towards the farming, and we had already started our homestead. We started the homestead stuff probably a year before I changed how I was doing my baskets, which I changed that last year. Lawson says, I love how you have been raising animals. Yes, we're doing the animals, Lawson, very slowly, because we don't want to be overwhelmed with animals, especially when we have to process them ourselves. Because that's, the good thing with processing your own animals as far as for food is that you know what you fed them. These guys here are getting a 24% protein crumble, and it is rich in vitamins. It is very good for them, and they are laying eggs. So they're doing very well. And yes, I have eaten the quail eggs. Now, the quail eggs taste like chicken eggs, but quail eggs are richer and have more nutrients in them than chicken eggs, believe that or not, even though the quail eggs are like this compared to the chicken egg that's kind of like that. Takes about 4 quail eggs to make 1 chicken egg. But the quail egg has more, is healthier for you. Um, and my flock in there that's in the brooder, those 14 are getting a 30% protein. And the reason for that is because they grow so fast, they need a much higher protein source than your chickens. And once they reach adulthood, like my jumbos down here, um, they don't need as much. Do y'all want to see one of the jumbos? Y'all tell me. I'll grab one for you so you can see them. Because I love my quails. But like I said, you know what they've eaten, um, and what you're feeding them, and it's just a great feeling to know where your food is coming from. Here on this back porch, I've got tomatoes, cabbage, collard greens, shishito peppers, more tomatoes, cucumbers, garlic, peppers, corn, watermelon, blueberries, potatoes. I got a lot of stuff on this porch here, so you want to see the quail? I'll be happy to get one for you. And now quails are very skittish, but once I get him in my hand, or get one in my hand, I'm going to get one of the boys. Hang on 1 second. If I can get one of the boys. Oh, the boys are over here scarier than the girls, y'all. Oh, here's one. Okay, I got a boy. Calm down, calm down. Calm down. You're okay. Alright, so this is my boy. And you see where I band his leg. See the blue band on his leg? Well, calm down. You're okay. I'll close this because they will. Calm yourself down. So when you hold them, you want to hold their feathers, and that's why. Oh, are you pecking at me? Stop pecking me. All right, let me put him back in because he's about to have a nervous breakdown. But they're very skittish. He tried to peck me, y'all. Katryna quail viewing, yes, honey, viewed beautiful quails. Those are the jumbo whites, and that was one of the boys. Like I said, I band his little legs so that we knew that that was the boy, so everybody would know. So I just have 2 boys in there, and the rest of them are girls. They are so cute. But like I said, it's better to know where your food comes from, what you're feeding your quails, or your chickens or your pigs or your goats, whatever it is, your rabbits, whatever it is you're choosing to raise, just know, um, don't bite off more than you can chew. All right, 19 quails is plenty for us, because, like I said, we're just starting off with quail, and I have 19 of them, and I'm okay with that. Now if I find that there's a demand for eggs or something like that, then I may do more quail. But right now we're raising them for meat and eggs for the family, not to sell or anything like that. Not right now, anyway. And then the chickens, right now we're raising them for eggs. The chickens that I have are not necessarily. There's a bird on the porch. You better stay away from my blueberry bush. I know that. Um, they are not meat birds, so they are really there for eggs. And with them, I have 6 hens and 1 rooster. So the ratio there is good, except that uh, 4 of those hens are still little. They're still immature. They're not egg layers just yet. They probably got another month before they start laying eggs, which is okay. The other 2 are laying eggs, and they lay eggs every day. But yeah, those the white ones, they are beautiful, and those are my big ones. Now the ones I have that are in the brooder, those are probably about this big. They're not the jumbos. They're just the regular Katryna quails, and I don't have any whites in there. I think, some pharaohs. I might have some sprays. It was a feather mix, so it wasn't one particular breed. It was just a feather mix. And I got that mix so that I could feather sex them and not have to, because I was really, really dreading having to vent sex these quails. I was like, I do not want to do that. If I'll do it if I have to, but I'd rather not. And I ended up not having to vent sex the white jumbos because um, they started crowing. When they crow, they're boys. The girls don't crow. They just kind of hum. They're very, very quiet. But the boys, they have a little crow that they do. And it's not all that loud, but it is noticeable. We'll say that. Hello, Lisa. Welcome in. Welcome in. Good to see you. All right, y'all. So that was the white, and that's the quail story right there. So right now I've got 14 in the house, and hopefully they do good and they thrive. Um, they're in the brooder, and like I said, the temperature and everything. This is something you have to gauge, okay? Because my quail have never they piled up on each other out of the heat. So I said, okay, it's a little too warm in there, so I turned the heat down a little bit, but there were still some scattered everywhere. So what I did was I took 2 coffee cans that were empty, the small ones, cut them open, and set them in on each corner. And now I did that for the jumbo whites too, but they never went in them. They never went in those to get out of the heat or anything. Now these do. These small ones, they do go in there. They go in there, lay down, go to sleep, or whatever the case may be. There might be some that sleeping in the middle, some on the ends, and that's what you want to see. Is you want to see all of your quails kind of moving about all over the place. But mine might have a spot in that brooder that they like to sleep in. Um, so that's where you'll find them at all the time, the same one in that spot. It's not because he's too cold or too hot. He likes that spot. And I found that they kind of peck more for a spot than they do fighting or anything like that. But they are on a 30% feeder because they are growing fast and need high protein. And once they're grown, I will drop them back down to a 24% too, like these guys here. So that's the whole quail thing. Um, and as you can see, the first time I did it, I felt like I failed because we didn't have the incubator set up right. Um, and once again, we followed the directions that were sent, but they weren't very good directions. And that was all over YouTube as far as those particular directions in that particular incubator. But the problems I was having, I couldn't get a focused uh, YouTube video or guide on how to fix the problem. So we figured it out. Um, and like I said, when I contacted My Shar Farms, I told them, hey, I don't know how much of this is my fault. It may be. I don't know. But they were gracious enough to still send the eggs because that's their policy. His wife emailed me and she was really, really sweet. And like I said, we didn't meet it the second time, but I didn't call them about it because I'm not trying to get more eggs. 19 is enough for us. Um, and we'll see how fast we turn those over. But if you feel like you failed or whatever, don't give up. Just try again. Because a lot of times you're going to have to troubleshoot a whole lot of things on a homestead before you get it right. Um, I've got a lot of construction going on in there, y'all, and I didn't know how many critters lived in my house. I'm like, good Lord, what is that? I ain't never seen one of those before. So thank God for my son-in-law because he ain't scared of nothing. He went to my next door neighbor's house and set his foot on the top of the head of a moccasin and then chopped his head off for my neighbor so he could kill it. Not his bare foot. He had on boots. But he ain't scared of nothing. Nothing. So we love having him around on the homestead because, there are predators out here. We have red-tailed foxes out here, raccoons. I haven't seen a raccoon. Well, no, let me not say that. I had a raccoon that used to live on my front porch because he would come up there to get the cat's food. So we started having to feed the cat in the house. Now, y'all know me. Anybody, y'all know my cat because you done seen him with his big lazy self. Call him King Tut because he thinks he's the king of the everything. And probably one of the laziest animals we have here. But he's just too darn cute, y'all. Um, it's difficult to get my cat to come in the house. He doesn't. He'll come in now. When it was during the wintertime, he'd be sitting at the door because he's gotten to an age where the cold really bothers him. So we'd let him in so he could warm up, and sometimes he would be downstairs in the basement 2, 3 days before anybody even realized he was in the house. Well, his food was in the house too, so we could tell by the food going down that, oh yeah, he's in here, because my dog won't eat his food. My dog won't eat nothing but dog food. If he eats any table food, he's gonna get sick. So he just eats dog food, and that's the Yorkie. Yes, I still have the Yorkie, little bad butt thing. He's tried to get the birds, y'all, and he managed to kill 2 of our chickens that were in the house. They were in a brooder, and they were just baby chicks. And I don't think he did it on purpose. I think he thought that he could play with them. So he jumped in, and that was my fault again because I had left the brooder open, but I thought my mom had scooped the dog up and went in the room. And I just went in my room for a brief second to get something. And when I came out, he was already in the cage. So I think when he jumped in there, he kind of landed on 2 of those chickens, and that's how they died. What is wrong with y'all? They're pecking at. Now you didn't want to come out here a minute ago, and I brought you out here. Now you're pecking at the thing to come out. Not happening. Stay in there. I'm gonna have to get them some water here in just a little while. But yeah, don't give up. Keep going because your next round will get better. And bye, Lawson. Thank you for popping in and subscribing. I appreciate you. We'll see you on the next time. And for everyone else or everybody that's here, this is our first live on this channel. Okay, now I've done 900 billion lives on my other channel, but this is the first live on this channel. All right, so maybe some giveaways from everyone that I see in the chat during the live. I'm taking notes, and y'all know I take notes, and I like giving away stuff. Um, my daughter, my youngest one, she is in New York right now. Their senior trip, the senior class went to New York for their senior trip, and she just sent me a message after graduation. Are we going out somewhere? So I don't know. We'll see. Her graduation, and I think it's Saturday evening, not Saturday morning. So we might go out somewhere. But anyway, that is what I wanted to share with y'all, was that quail journey wasn't an easy one. It is an ongoing thing, and it is still going on. I have a cage that I'm waiting for the arrival for, and I wanted you to know that everything is not going to go as smoothly as you would like for it to. Um, the other issues that we have had, not necessarily with the quails and all of that, but just with homesteads and homesteading in general, or even working my basket business and all of that, is in and out of the hospital. Um, and it was like it just made rounds in my house. First, it was my daughter, then it was me, then it was my other daughter, um, then my grandson, and then my sister, and then my back to me again, and then my daughter again. And that has, everything has gotten a lot better, but it was just one of them seesaws or merry-go-rounds we couldn't get off of, and it wasn't anything contagious. It was just things happening. Okay, things happening. My daughter started having seizures. We don't know why. This is my middle daughter. Um, my oldest one is allergic to something. We don't know what. So she has to walk around with an EpiPen now. And she had a reaction so bad that the EpiPen wasn't working. We had did the EpiPen. She had taken Benadryl, everything. By the time we got to the hospital, she was starting to swell shut. And so they immediately put her on a respirator. And put her on a respirator and stuck her in ICU. We thought we were going to lose her then. Um, but 24 hours later, she was able to get off of that respirator and breathe on her own, and doing very well since then. But it's scary because we don't know what she's allergic to. We have no idea what it is. It could be some pollen that's out in the air. It could be some food, but none of her food has changed. She doesn't take any pills or anything like that. As far as blood pressure medicines like lisinopril and stuff like that, she doesn't take any of those things. So it's scary because we really don't know what it is she is allergic to. So we have to have an EpiPen with us at all times. Um, my daughter that has a seizure, she started having nocturnal seizures. She would have them in her sleep. So we've managed to get her regimented to where she takes her medicine same time, twice a day, every day. She has to eat at a certain time, and she needs to be in a bed at a certain time, because we've noticed a pattern with her seizures. She hasn't had any as long as she stays regimented like that. There was one night last week that she was really off her schedule, and they ate dinner at like 2 o'clock in the morning, her and her husband, and went to bed very late. And the next day, about 10 a.m., she had a seizure. So she knows that she's got to stay very regimented and very on her schedule. Otherwise, she will have a seizure. And the problem with nocturnal seizures is she has them, and she doesn't know that she had one. All she knows is that she wakes up and we're all standing there, and she's going, "What's wrong? What is it?" Well, you had a seizure in your sleep, and she doesn't know because she's asleep when they start. So we've had to videotape them so that she could see what was going on while she was asleep. So it's just been one of those things where I didn't didn't leave everybody, but I had to stop some things, filming and things like that, to pay more attention to what's going on in the house and how do we resolve these issues so that we can all function and everybody is safe. Because safety first, and of course, safety with the seizures, with the allergies, and and all of that. So that's another reason why we are leaning more toward a healthier diet, eating from our garden, eating our own meat, and things like that. Because when you have a child that's allergic to God knows what and you don't know, it's safer to grow your own food because you know there's no chemicals in them. You know that what you fed that animal, and how you raise that animal. And it is very important simply because of all the stuff they are putting in our foods. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that. I know y'all have been a praying community for us, and I appreciate it so much. Um, but I did want to come on. We done been on here an hour, y'all. I did want to come on and let everybody know that I love you. I have not forgotten you. This is the first day, literally, my daughter got out of the hospital last night. Last night. So this is the first day that I've been able to pop on since I popped off a while back, um, to share with y'all. And I did want to talk about the quail because I wanted you to know that if you take a quail journey, you're going to hear the temperature in your brooder's got to be 99.9, and then go back, cut it down 5 degrees or 3 degrees or whatever every week. And that is not always going to be the case for you. You are going to have to absolutely 100% go by how your quail are acting. And your quail may not have the temperament my quail has. Okay? For the jumbo whites, um, the third day they were in there, I had to drop that temperature down to 85 because it to them it was hot in there. You know, so, and but they grow really fast. Their metabolism is very high, and their feathers came in very quickly. So that I could see, So, with them, it was a little more regimented, though. I dropped them down. I got them all the way down to 75. And literally last week they just went in the this cage here. So that's where I'm at in life, y'all. I'm still here, and I'm just thankful and grateful to God for all the blessings that He has given us, and is very, very happy to see everybody again and talk to you, and get some new subscribers as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Homestead. Um, and you will be getting more content. Now, I probably will do more content on the Homestead than the gift basket, but I'm going to do on both, simply because the Homestead channel we're growing. We're growing both channels, but the Homestead channel, we're going to catch it up. Something like that. Um, said Park Gardens, hey, 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 how are you? He said, what's going on, fam? Good to see you. I just got on here to talk about some quails because I know a lot of people are raising quail and they're going by a lot of videos and stuff that they see. But one thing I've learned, and this is, like I said, my only my second incubation doing. One thing I've learned is you have got to go by your quail. Good to see you too. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. You got to go by your quails. Okay, don't go by somebody said drop that temperature 5 degrees once a week. Okay, you might have to drop it 10 because your quail don't like it. Okay. So I have learned that very quickly. These jumbo whites, immediately after, maybe 3 days after being in the brooder at 99 degrees, I had to drop them down to 85 because they were not tolerating that high heat at all. So I went by what my quails told me. Okay, now you'd be surprised at how smart these animals are. Because my baby's in there. If their water gets empty, they have one, I call him spokesman. He jumps up on the feeder and chirps. He's the only one. No one else makes noise. He chirps. So I'll go look and I'm like, oh, you need some water. Okay. And I put the water in there. He's quiet. Don't hear anything else from him. I'm like, so you are the spokesman for these other 13 quails in this brooder with you. But he does. So just make sure you go by what your quail are doing, because everything that they tell you is not necessarily going to apply to you, because everybody's quails have different temperaments, and the temperature in the room that you have them in is going to matter. The temperature, the humidity in that room is going to matter. All right, and so those things kind of play a part as well, um, as in controlling temperatures and things like that. Humidities in your incubator. If the room's got a 90% humidity in it, then it's not going to be. It might be harder for you to get that humidity down than it would be to get it up, if that makes sense. So those are the types of things that you just have to look at and go by your quails, because they will tell you. They absolutely 100% will tell you if they're comfortable. Sometimes you see a group of them sleeping together and all the rest of them are all over the place. That doesn't mean that that one little group is not comfortable. That just means they like each other and that's where they wanted to sleep at. So y'all know. Um, but yeah, make sure you just go by your quails and don't count it a failure. My first time I hatched 5, my second time I hatched 14. That for us is a success, because 19 is all we wanted. Um, so we're very, very happy about it. But listen, I'm going to get off of this live, y'all. I've been on here an hour already. It has been fantastic to see you. S. Marie, thank you for popping in. I love you. Lisa, thank you for popping in. I love you. Welcome, Lawson, our new subscriber. Happy that you could pop in. And Set Apart Gardens, it is always good to see you. If y'all don't know Set Apart Gardens channel, please go over there and subscribe. He gives you a lot of information about homesteading. He's very good at butchering animals and stuff. You can learn a whole lot if you're looking for that self-sufficient pathway to go on. This man has a lot of information. Him and his wife, um, this lovely couple. They in my neck of the woods, so that helps me quite a bit because we're kind of in the same climate, and it lets me know that yeah, there's a lot more that I can do in my area, because I'm following his channel and I can see the different things that he's doing. So y'all make sure you go over there and subscribe. Um, in the meantime, in between time, I got chores to do, y'all. I got to go feed these chickens, get my eggs. They got to pay their rent. And then I need to get down here in this garden and get my greenhouse together. My daughter will be home from New York tonight, so got to go pick her up. That's not going to be till about 11:30. But she's on the other phone right now in New York, and I'm going to get off of this one so that I can talk to her and find out what's going on. So in the meantime, in between time, you all be blessed and happy harvesting.